Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, and welcome for the very last time to a brand new run here on Indiethon. This is, of course, Trifox run by Halfbeasty. Take it away, my friend.
Hello everyone, my name is Halfbeasty and I will indeed be running Trifox any percent for you today. With me is the always lovely Sal Good Mind for commentary. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, if you haven't heard my voice already throughout this event, hi, I'm Salku Mind. I also happen to be one of the staff of Indiethon. I also run this game. I am very excited and very nervous because we met the incentive, and Beastie's gonna run this on Expert. This is a first. It's a guaranteed world record.
Yes, indeed. And as a matter of fact, about 3 hours ago, Sal messaged me asking me if it was okay to open up the incentive for extreme difficulty. And at first I was like, let's not, because it's too dangerous. And then, of course, as a good speedrunner, the first thing I did was open up the game and did a run on extreme difficulty. After which I was like, you know what, let's just do it. So
I have
yeah,
faith you can do it.
here we are. So I have actually been a bit sick the past couple of days, so I'm gonna try and save my throat a bit. And because of that, Cell is going to be doing most of the talking during the run. Luckily enough, she knows the run well enough that that should be fine. But yeah, timing will start when I select a new file, and Cell, you can do the honor of the countdown.
All right, so time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Okay, so to start off, we're going to skip this opening cutscene. Basically, there's the big bad guy, and the big bad guy comes and basically kind of destroys our house and steals our TV remote. Because apparently he needs our TV remote, and that makes us upset because that means we don't get to watch our Saturday morning cartoons. So we are off now on a grand adventure to go get that remote back. So we've got this little tutorial area where we're going to learn some basic mechanics. So there you saw, like, we can pull levers, things like that, flip switches. And here we're presented with the Tri part of Trifox. So there are 3 classes in the game. There is Warrior, Mage, and Engineer. So to start off, we're going to pick the Warrior. Each class has its own movement ability. The Warrior has a dash ability that also gives us sprint speed immediately. For Mage and Engineer, you have to build up your speed, slowly, your sprint speed. With Warrior, it's automatically there. So we start with Warrior for the speed run because obviously we want to go fast. And then there we unlock our first ability. That first ability you unlock here is always, there's a specific one for each of the classes, but it's always tied to whichever movement ability you've taken. And so here, now that we've got, because we're doing this on extreme difficulty, I should explain that was extreme difficulty. There's normally you have 100 HP on normal. On hard, you have 50, and on extreme, you have 25 HP. Most of the big things in this game will do 25 damage. So, it's a lot. And so as part of that, we went into Beastie there, was gathering some extra money in order to unlock some abilities a little bit earlier to make this run a little bit safer. This here's a cutscene. This is going to show off the little shop area where we can buy abilities. And, of course, the next world is opened up. Again, we're going to gather up some more resources here because it is very important that we buy abilities after World 1-1 for extreme difficulty.
Yes, and normally
Now
normally I
Go
would
ahead.
gather a lot less, but because this is extreme difficulty and I want some extra safety, I'm gathering a bit more than I normally would to buy one extra ability that makes the game a lot safer.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we are on to World 1 here. World 1 sort of has a bit of like a beachy theme to it. There's a little cutscene skip we can do here. Beastie got it. If you land right on the corner of that, you don't hit the cutscene trigger. It's very nice. And then a bit of a new route that we take now. Normally you'd go follow like those rocks down and then come up the beach here to stand on this button. But it turns out you can just kind of jump through that tree. And then gathering, again, we got to get lots of coins. We need a lot of money coming out of this. We're going to come right over here, get another chest for extra money. We're just going to gather a lot of money, so... Yeah, and then another... Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a new strat there. Instead of... you're supposed to stand on a thing that makes those towers go up and down. And... Instead, turns out you would just get on one of them and jump all the way. And so here you're supposed to, like, grab... Actually, not even supposed to grab that. You're supposed to, like, stand on these buttons one at a time. But that's really slow. So instead, we now push these boxes around, if the enemies cooperate. And you can actually use these boxes. Oh, hello. Enemies, cooperate, please. You can use those boxes to weigh the buttons down instead. So why would you stand on them when you can be close to the door? That particular strat has seen a lot of variations. Not all of which were dev approved. But here we meet the warrior. Sort of like a mini boss encounter here. BC stands in that specific spot right there to sort of cheese the boxer, to charge at him there. Because if the boxer charges into those boxes, for some reason it does damage to the boxer, which in a speedrun we'll take bonus damage anywhere we can get. And especially on extreme difficulty, where we have so little HP to play with. It's great if enemies can sort of do some damage themselves first. But that's World 1 done. What do you think, BC? Do you have enough money for all the stuff we gotta buy?
It's close, but there are some more boxes I can get in the hub, so... But yeah, with that brawler...
Hopefully.
With that brawler, if I aim him perfectly, he actually just completely self-destructs. Which didn't quite get it this time, but that's fine.
Yeah, there we've done our shopping. So previously, on normal difficulty, we would just grab the engineer turrets, because we can use those to do some really funny things, but also for extreme difficulty here, we also grabbed the engineer Gatling gun. That's the highest DPS item in the game. We're going to get here early because it allows us to be ranged, and therefore take less damage, which, when you have so little HP, is very important. But yeah, here we're going to use these turrets. Turns out they have collision, and you can stand on them. So we just use them to, you know, just casually get out of bounds here. And we basically skip all the way to the end of the level.
Because, you know, the intended route is just a suggestion, really.
Yeah, just totally a suggestion. And now we're going to have a wave of crabs here to fight. And then intentionally come over to the side, because the lever that we need to start the next phase is right there behind that gate. So we always want to end this fight over here on this side, in order to be ready. Pull that. Crabs cooperated. Sometimes you get a crab that just goes wandering off, and it's very frustrating because you can just lose time to crab RNG. But the crabs cooperated. Here's hoping round 2 cooperates.
Yeah, round 2 is usually the one where it happens the most. I've had varying times for round 2, anywhere between 50 seconds and 1 minute and 10 seconds.
So here we've got another type of enemy. We've got these big crabs that shoot spikes out. They're very annoying. They destroy the turrets so easily. So that's still good for the run, obviously. So try and get them down as fast as possible, and then hope that you can get rid of the little ones fairly quickly as well. As Beastie mentioned, this is typically the phase where the crabs go wandering and exploring who knows where in the level. They just decide they want to go do something else. Looks like they're mostly cooperating. This looks pretty promising. And then ideally we want to end this phase 2 standing in the middle of this arena here, just because there's 2 cutscenes that have to occur. And if you're standing in the middle, it will just trigger them back to back, and that saves like a second, which is really nice. But yeah, chat, say hi to Bob. This is Bob. He is a big crab, who we are now going to fry using the turrets. Bob doesn't really like this, so ideally we want Bob to not destroy our turrets, but also not kill us, which, welcome to extreme difficulty, where 25 HP, a single hit from Bob will kill. We get more Bob. We get more Bob time. Oh yeah, a single one of his hits I think is 30, and you have 25. Yep, that's...
Yeah.
But fortunately, you can kind of just stand inside of him and do damage. Both Beastie and I have had it happen more than once, where if you stand in the right place inside of Bob, Bob just doesn't move, does not swing, doesn't attack at all. It's very strange. But that is 1-2 done.
Yeah, and one thing I was trying to do there was stand inside him and just kind of try to wiggle myself left to right, so that whenever he attacks towards the left side, I try to go right, and vice versa, so that he never hits me.
Alright, and we are on to World 1-3. So as a general rule, level 3 of each world is the level that we do the most intended way. Exception happens in World 3, but we'll talk about that when we get there. We haven't found any ways to get out of bounds. We haven't found any real great ways to do much in terms of skips for this level. You just kind of have to do it as intended. Or rather, I should say, we haven't really found any skips for a new save. There are some potential skips for a new Game Plus situation, but obviously this is from a new save file, so can't use any of those. Very nice Kobe there. You gotta get both those heads, put them in. Okay.
Yeah, even that enemy is dangerous on extreme. So.
Oh! And then just a nice little optimization to jump over into a cutscene. So here we have the warrior and we have the big bad guy. Everyone say hello to the big bad guy. He has our TV remote. Very rude of him. But he's gonna get rid of us by dropping the floor from under us and dropping us into a dungeon that apparently exists down here. And we're gonna use more skulls. So we're gonna put one up on top, go grab the other one, put it on the bottom, and that's gonna unlock the right side door here. You can do right or left side, any order in the run. There's no time difference, both sides must be done. It's not faster to do one first than the other. Most runners, though, go right side and then left. That's just force of habit. So we got a journey down here, and then... Ooh! Oh, that didn't fully kill you. Okay, I was expecting that was death.
Me too, actually. So.
But yeah, you gotta come all the way down to stand on these buttons here, and those buttons will help light up and eventually unlock that door. And now comes the tricky part. We now need to get all the way up back to the top, and we can use turrets to help speed that up. So there's these elevators here, but these elevators are so slow. And if you fall off of them and you get off cycle, then it's really slow. BC's usually pretty good, doesn't usually end up off cycle. Yeah, we're gonna turret climb our way back up to that main area. Zach, if there's anything you want to say or read?
It was a clean climb.
It was a very clean climb. You had a very, very clean... stayed on cycle. Alright, so some enemies are going to drop down here. That's fine. We can ignore them. We don't need to worry about them. Because we're going to do that and then just jump across, grab the other head, and swap sides. And now it is time for the left door. This side has some of my favorite enemies in the game because they're invisible. They're really cool. But you don't really deal with them much in the run at all. So you're gonna pull some levers. We got buttons to stand on. There's poison things. Don't run into the poison. Don't get hit by the invisible enemies. Good life advice. Yeah, if there's any donations or any ad reads, anything that needs to be read, now would be a good time for that.
Oh, okay.
What? Oh, did you die?
I guess they just got me before the cutscene started.
Ah, shoot. That's the side effect of, again, extreme difficulty. You basically have one hit.
Yeah, this is not a spot where I'm used to actually having to pay attention too much, so...
Yeah, normally this area is pretty easy. Ooh. No dying.
Should be fine now.
Yeah, someone in chat saying, this the Twitter post said normal. Oh yes, so this was going to be a normal run, and then a donation incentive was meant very generously for us to upgrade to hard, and then once more to upgrade to extreme, and so Beastie is down for the challenge, which is super amazing. Alright, so this area is really cool. You see this door opening? Yeah, so when I played this casually, I didn't realize that door was actually open the whole time. So there's a bunch of enemies. Looks like you're supposed to fight them. Fun fact, you can just go right past them. And if you know how to time it, you can just stop and stand on that button. And now we have a very classic like water chase sequence. Again, Trifox is inspired by like the classics like Crash Bandicoot, Jackson Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and so all those games had, you know, water chase puzzles. So of course Trifox needs to, but we're so fast, it's really easy to get up there. And so now we're gonna go out, and we are going to confront the warrior and the big bad guy because they're leaving. They have our TV remote. We need to stop them. But we got some enemies to fight first. And so Beastie's going to set up for a nice little cheesy strat that we have now. Woo, dear. You got this. You can do it. So something actually that Beastie discovered recently, which Beastie, by the way, is the world record holder for this game. Any difficulty, all the categories. We can put the turrets up here, we can stand up on them, and that's going to make all the enemies come to us and just kind of stand under their flame turrets and take a ton of damage, which is very important, again, because we have so little health on extreme. That gunner, the really big gunner, does a ton of damage if he hits you, both with bullets or by slamming his gun down on you. So much damage. So that is... It's a nice strat, normal, but almost necessary on extreme difficulty.
Yeah, that big gunner does 30 damage with its slam and 15 damage per bullet. So if you only have 25 health, that's very quickly going to stop your movements, basically.
Yeah, now we are on to the boss of World 1, which is time for the warrior. We've been chasing him the whole world, and finally we're going to confront him. This is also a point where technically we've been introduced to the idea of throwing items previously in the game, but this is the level that really teaches you to throw items. And so this area, we've got these little bomb carriers. We need to get the bomb carriers to drop their bombs, and we need to throw 2 at the box that the warrior is standing on, and that's going to bring him down to the main level so that we can actually do damage and trigger the next phase of the fight. There we go. Very clean, very clean. And then we're going to do same thing, phase 2. Look at that, perfect. Sometimes if you time it right, you can get that pre-prep the bombs before you start phase 2. And it's really nice when that succeeds. Making you nervous there, but we're on to phase 3. And little life pro tip, chat. Don't drink battery acid. Just don't. It's gonna turn you into a monster. Or as we like to call the warrior in this phase, the Tasmanian Devil. Because he does the spin attack. So, as you saw there, Beastie did damage to him before he started moving. And by doing damage there, that actually forces him to immediately go into that spinning cycle. Otherwise, the warrior will like jump around the level a bit, and that's really slow. We want him to start that spinning because there's always a consistent spot he'll stop, and then you can one cycle defeat him on that 3rd phase. And there we go. That is World 1 done. I see chat is taking notes. Good job, chat. I am sorry. No, it won't turn you into the Angelic or Bunny. It will just turn you into a little bit of a monster. Alright, so now we're going to make a purchase here. We're going to unlock the Mage movement ability, and then we're also going to get the Mage Ball. The Mage Ball is an AoE effect. It does a ton of damage, but as I just said, it is AoE. Area of effect. That means it can also kill us, which makes it very dangerous on Extreme because we have so little health.
Yeah, and on Extreme, if you get caught in the blast, it just kills you.
Yeah. It's really, I have killed myself so many times using the Mage Ball on normal difficulty. So this is going to be intense. Alright, so here we are going to use, we're going to do one of the earliest skips found, I believe, which we just call elevator skip. You can use the turrets to climb. We don't need to go start the elevator. We can make our own. And here we meet the rocket launchers. These guys can be a little bit annoying. They do a lot of damage. We need to kill that rocket launcher guy because he's going to blast through and break down that door so we can continue on. You can die from that door exploding. I have had that happen to me. We're going to come around here, grab that battery, and we need to put that battery over here, and that's going to power up a little turret because, just like any classic 3D platformer, we need to have a rail gun level, and this is our rail gun level in Trifox. We're going to jump down, get inside, and once Beastie is on that turret, we do a quick restart, and that just helps despawn enemies, because otherwise all the enemies from up above will follow you down, and it just becomes overwhelming really, really fast.
Yeah, and some of the enemies from upstairs are melee enemies that, if they do happen to get to your turret, become unkillable, because the turret does have a minimum range.
So we just quick restart. We use quick restarts a couple points in the run just to help deal with clearing out extra enemies. It's a very nice feature from the devs. But yeah, so here it's essentially just defense. We are waiting for the base that the turret card is on. Fully power up. There we go. Open the door, and we're going to go into a rail shooter section here. As you saw there, Beastie temporarily switched using his mouse, because that was just easier control. Now he's back on controller. And outside of that first option there, if you may have saw, there was an option to switch which direction the rail was going. There'll be several of those in level. The only one that matters is that very first one. You want to go on the initially set direction rather than change it. Otherwise, all routes are equal in speed. Yeah, otherwise we're on sort of like an auto-scroller section here, so if there's anything to read, Prozek, this would be a fantastic one.
There is a moment then I have a couple of things that I would absolutely say. At this 11th hour of the game, it is a good time to tell you about who we are supported by. In addition to all the lovely people who have been generously giving their donations all throughout the marathon, we have been supported by Team 17, an independent indie game publisher based in the United Kingdom. Visit their website at team17.com to view all their game offerings. Additionally, Indiethon Spring 2023 is supported by Brock. Brock is a private detective in this futuristic, light cyberpunk world where animals have replaced humans. Privileged citizens live under a protective dome from the ambient air pollution, while others struggle to make a living on the outside. It's a deep and emotional narrative-rich experience filled with characters reminiscent of classic 80s/90s cartoons, and the first game to combine a classic adventure with a beat-em-up and RPG elements. Brock is out now on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. With that out of the way, back to you.
Awesome, thank you so much. So yeah, we are on now to 2-2, and this is a level where we have another huge out-of-bounds section. So we're gonna just come over here, we're gonna stand on this chest, and whoop, we are out of bounds. But we need to get out of bounds even more, so we're gonna stand up here, jump around an invisible wall, come over here, use the turrets to climb up this pillar. There we go. And now we're on an invisible ceiling. Although you have to be careful, because there is a hole in this ceiling, so you gotta be really careful. Yeah, we're just going to run along the edge here, out of bounds, and then we're not going to actually drop in the final room, we're going to drop into the second to last room, just because if you drop into the very last room, the exit actually won't spawn. That's just a thing. So we got to kill this gunner here, because the gunner has a battery that we need. It's going to open the gate. And now we are going to be introduced to these shield carriers, or the shield bros as we sometimes call them in the community. They're very annoying because you can only do damage to them from behind. And there we go. That is a new cutscene skip that we found. If you manage to die at the same time as you kill the shield carrier, you can skip the little cutscene there. Saves just a couple of seconds. It still scares me every time I see it, but Beastie absolutely nailed that, and that is World 2-2 done. Super quick.
Yeah. Funnily enough, that cutscene skip is actually easier on higher difficulties because it's easier to manage your health.
Fair, yeah. And now we are on to 2-3. Is this the longest level in the run?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, following that same pattern, World 3, or Level 3 of the worlds are very much heavily fortified. We haven't really found any places yet to get out of bounds. No difference here. So we're going to start first. We're going to destroy some of these little enemies, break up some of these boxes. And then we're going to have the hardest part of the entire run. Coffee break. Are you guys ready for the coffee break strat? I don't think chat's ready. So Beastie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's going pretty well,
doing
if I
good?
say so.
I agree. It is coffee break time. And with coffee break time, anything else you'd like to say, Prozac? Because we're just going to be sitting here for like a minute and a half.
Wow. Fair enough. All right then. In which case, I'll tell people a little bit about some merch. If you are itching for some cool Indiethon swag, then you may itch no more, my dear friend. The Indiethon merch store is here. We partnered with speedrun.shop to bring you the cleanest Indiethon merch anywhere around. We have cool shirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. The profits made during Indiethon Spring 2023 will be donated towards Little Warriors. Visit www.speedrun.shop to browse all our merch offerings. And don't delay, merch is only a couple clicks away. Thank you very much, and back to you.
Awesome, perfect timing. We've just finished coffee break, and now we are going to be released out into the factory. So World 2, we've got sort of desert, lots of machinery, because this is the engineer world. So we got this little trek. We're going to open these doors, and this is going to introduce us to the elevator. So this is sort of the central point of the entire level, and a large part of why so far we've not been able to find any skips. You can only progress down with the elevator. You cannot, if you try and jump below it, it's just a death plane. So you have to complete this as intended. Makes it a fairly long level, but that's alright. We got some cool strats for making things a little more efficient. So again, we're going to use turrets. And so basically going to place 3 of them over here by this exit. And then go over here to be ready, and we're going to use the mage ball. Destroy those 2 enemies that came out. Hurry back over here, get rid of these ones over here. And then, again, repeat. Goal is to try and kill that RPG carrier as quickly as possible. And then you'll notice when you place a turret by the door. So the reason we place a turret by that door is there's a mech walker that comes out. And if you can get the mech walker stuck in the door, which, ooh, mech walker did not get stuck in the door. If you place a turret just right in front of the door, the mech walker gets stuck, can't exit, but the doors are sort of not nicely scheduled. The doors are supposed to close. Oh, that's a spot to get stuck. The doors are scheduled to close after a certain period of time, and so they just kind of squish the mech walker. It's very handy. The mech walkers are tanky. It means we don't have to kill them. The door does it for us. Here we've got, we're on side 1 here. Gotta kill all these little enemies. Try to not die. And we're going to be introduced to a mechanic now. Almost as if the game is setting us up with a tutorial for how to beat the boss of World 2 here. So we've got this tower in the center here with these levers. I'm gonna quickly pull all of them. And then be prepared to be teleported back to the elevator. I will say Beastie's movement is super clean. He's doing a fantastic job making this look very easy. I am very nervous anytime I see him take damage, not gonna lie. We're doing well. Yeah, round 2. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the big thing about Extreme definitely is, like, there are so many things that do more than 25 damage. Like every exploding barrel, almost every big enemy, every time you fall down somewhere, it's just an instant death now, so...
Yeah, you're managing it very well. Alright, let's see if we can get a turret placed correctly. There we go, that one should work. So yeah, you can see in the background there, the mech walker comes in, gets stuck in the door, and just dies.
And I also
very handy.
Managed to push a brawler back through the door, so...
Oh, wow. Look at you. Advanced strats. Now we're going to do side 2. You gotta come up over here, jump, jump, jump. Again, oh! Why is there no... Huh. There's no little guy over there. Interesting. Yeah, same sort of deal. We're gonna head down this pathway and we're gonna be introduced to another tower. Same deal, where we need to break the barriers, covering up the levers, and then make sure we pull all 3 of them. Ooh. And get back to safety.
Yeah, that one little enemy you missed, I found out that if you cut the corners tight enough on your first attempt without respawning, that enemy just doesn't spawn for some reason.
Huh. Well, today I learned. And now we're on to the final part of this level, where this is the one spot where we have sort of a bit bigger of a skip. rather than going off to one of the sides, we're actually going to just jump off the front of this elevator, land early, and here there's a mech walker. There's a mech walker. I think there's a couple RPG no, the mech walker shooting the RPGs. The mech walkers. There's a couple of brawlers. There's a lot of enemies. There's a lot happening. Beast is doing a fantastic job of killing them, though. Making it look very easy. Let me tell you, that is not an easy fight. And we also get 2 shield guys now. Ideally, you want to try and use the mage ball to kill one of them and get the turrets to help kill the other. But of course, these guys do so much damage if they hit you. It's a one hit with those guys on extreme. So, but that was clean. Very good. And now we are on to the boss of World 2. It is the Engineer Twins. So you know how I said that we were just introduced to how we were being trained in that last level? Well, you'll see when we enter this arena that those little turrets where he broke and then pulled the levers. The Engineer Twins are inside one of those. So to defeat them, we just gotta defeat their machinery, like we just did in the last level. First we get faced with like a bunch of mech walkers, all sorts of fun stuff. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, an electric floor. Electric floor does a surprising amount of damage, which, again, we don't have a lot of health, so that's really quite scary, but see, that was easy, right? This should be simple, right? Just wait. There we go, 1 mech walker down. 2 down. Very nice. So now we have a little strat here, as we come out of this cutscene. If you push to go forward fast enough, you can get past the wall that spawns now. So see, the first time there was no wall, but they realized that was too easy. You got to them too quickly. So instead... Ooh, don't die. So instead, they put up a wall, but as we discovered, if you just dash forward fast enough, you can just go through the wall before it actually spawns in, which is very handy. On to phase 3, we're gonna kill 3 mech walkers this time, and then same deal, we're gonna dash forward through the wall, and this time pull all 3 levers, and that'll be the end of the boss. So again, Rosek, if there's anything you want to say or read, now would be a great chance.
Absolutely, I can do so. I'll tell people about why we are doing this. If they're still thinking, why should I give money? Well, here's something for you. Indiethon Spring 2023 is raising money for Little Warriors. They're a Canadian charitable organisation based in Alberta, Canada, who are focused on the awareness, prevention and treatment of child sexual abuse. Little Warriors volunteers work across Canada to educate adults and help prevent child sexual abuse by delivering the Prevent at Workshop. The Little Warriors Prevent It Workshop is an interactive workshop designed to educate adults to help prevent and respond to child sexual abuse through improving attitudes about knowledge of and behavior towards victim. This free workshop is unique in Canada and was developed using research-informed methods and evaluating with scientific rigor. Participants can take the 3-hour in-person workshop in communities where they are active facilitators, or they can take the 90-minute online version by registering on the Little Warriors website. Visit their website at www.littlewarriors.ca to learn more about their efforts and find out how you can help support their cause. Thank you very much, and back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for reminding us about that amazing charity. So now we are into World 3, where we get sort of like a frosty, mountainy kind of world. And something you may have seen there was Beastie went back to the shop and actually switched the movement ability from the Warrior Dash to the Mage Teleport. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to use the Mage Teleport now all the way to the end of the game, right?
For safety reasons, I will actually swap back to the warrior
Okay.
dash for the final boss.
Okay, so you're going to go back to the old strats. The new strats now for normal difficulty is to stick with the mage teleport. But yes, understandable. For safety reasons, we're going to go back to the warrior dash just because it is a little more consistent, and it certainly can get you out of trouble a little bit faster. We're entering this fight. I'm going to talk about this fight in a second. I just want to talk about mage teleport quickly. So mage teleport, we use it in this level specifically because there's an out of bounds movement that we need it for, as you saw there. That was able to get us up on a ceiling. The mage teleport has 3 charges. It takes time for each charge to rebuild. It also takes quite a bit of mana to use, unlike, say, the warrior dash, which doesn't take a lot of mana at all, and so it requires a lot more resource management, which is, again, very tricky in extreme difficulty. But yeah, onto this fight. So this fight has 3 phases. This is an intense fight. That's phase 1 done. Phase 2 is now starting. You know that because you can see the shadows above. They're dropping exploding barrels. An exploding barrel will kill you on extreme difficulty, so gotta be very careful not to get hit. But also, fun fact about this fight, there's no checkpoint. So if you die, even on the very, very last hit, you know, there's 1 HP on the final enemy, you must restart the entire fight. This can be a place for incredible time loss. Lots of runs have died here. I've reset so many times here. And it's only going to be harder because we have so much less health. Again, this is why we use the Gatling gun, because that allows us to stay further out of the way. Almost time for phase 3. I think we just gotta get that gunner down. Come on, gunner. There we go. Phase 3. Yes, phase 3. Alright, so now you know it's phase 3 because we've got the 2 shield bros here. Again, just gonna, I think, probably play it fairly safe. Keep them distracted with turrets and sort of try and take one down at a time. They will also spawn these little mechanical spiders. They're not too annoying, but they can be a little bit frustrating to deal with at times, so that was clean. You got through it. Good job.
That fight is super scary on any difficulty, let alone if basically anything can kill you with one blow, so I am glad I managed to one-shot that.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yay, good job. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna head back to the shop quickly after we skip this cutscene. Oh, or not.
No, I'm only swapping back for the final boss.
Ah, for the final boss. I misunderstood. Okay, so we're gonna do World 3 using the Mage Teleport. And welcome to 3-2, which we break really badly. We can just, you know... Oh, hello! That's a instant death. Okay. So yeah, we can use the Mage Teleport to just go through the wall over here. It's a little bit faster than the intended route. Let me just kind of go up here. Stand on top of that. We're going to go out of bounds using that Mage Teleport again. Then more out of bounds using the Mage Teleport. And then nice job falling into that. This is one of the few points of actually seeing the level here, because we are basically out of bounds for most of this level. Get up on top of that gondola, and then up here, and we are, again, out of bounds. And then we're going to do some blind movement in just a moment, or semi-blind. We've managed to find a way to manipulate the camera to work with us a little bit more. There was an old strat that we used to use, which was nearly completely blind. Or it was totally blind, very frustrating. But yeah, very nice, very clean. We're just running along the top of the level, and we're going straight to the boss of this area. And to do so, we actually make use of the cutscene trigger for this room being quite large. So easy enough. We just dropped into the cutscene trigger. That pulled us into the room, into the fight. And it's very, very important that Beastie does not die here. until the start of the third phase. So this is phase 1. No, this is phase 1. Yes. I don't know. I lose count in this fight so easily. There's a lot happening. So we've got the mage boss in the middle there.
Oh,
We've got the big crystal. Oh no! Oh no! Well, that's a level restart. Like I said, we cross no checkpoints. And so if you die at any point in this level before you hit phase 3, which is a checkpoint in that fight, you start all over from the start. So, Prezek, if there's anything you wish to say or read, or, comments about the run you'd like to make, now would be a great time.
It is certainly a very engaging run. I don't see many platforms take this almost pseudo-isometric perspective. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is a very cool run, very cool game. The devs are also super cool.
I am curious as to how the both of you decided to run this. Came into the speedrunning scene for it.
So I actually got offered a key to do a review for the game, and then I fell in love with it and started speedrunning it. I don't know how Beastie came to know about it.
I don't quite remember how I first came to know about it, but a little bit before the release, a contest was announced for speedrunning the game, and they were also offering keys for the game that went along with it if you participated, so that's how I ultimately ended up picking it up as a speedrun as well. Yeah, I've definitely fallen in love with the game. We're close to 200 hours into it now, and I definitely believe there will be many more to come. So.
Yeah, let's hopefully not die here.
There we go.
Excellent, and there we go. This is one of the other spots where we do an intentional quick restart. That clears out all the extra enemies and leaves only the ones that are supposed to be here for this particular phase. So again, we got to break these crystals along the edge, and that's going to break the shield that's along the main crystal. And then once that is done, there we go. Put some turrets down to help distract. We need to take out this mage that's up on top, because the mage will heal up that crystal, and that's very difficult for us then. Because if the crystal is being healed up, obviously it's harder for us to damage it. Please don't die. There we go. That's phase 3 done. Now on to possibly the hardest phase. Certainly my least favorite. We get to deal with 2 of these big gunners. Oh, please don't die. Fortunately, this game is quite generous with health. That is the one thing I will absolutely praise the devs for, is they've made it so accessible with all sorts of, enemies and items in the game that will drop more health for you. Actually, that was very clean. Very well done, Beastie. That's the spot where my runs usually die. But you did that so well.
Yeah, level 3-1 and 3-2 are definitely some of the hardest parts in the game with those massive mob fights. So.
Yeah. And now on to World 3-3. So I said that the third level of each world is the ones that we can't break, like you have to do them as intended? Well, World 3-3 is supposed to be the longest level in the entire game. There's like 4 trials that you gotta do, all these things. Except we forget about all that. We have broken this level apart so completely. Oh, ow. Okay. You're gonna go for Skull Skip?
Of course.
Okay. So BC's gonna do a strat here. We call this Skull Skip. This involves placing of turrets and some very creative blind out of bounds movement. He's gonna have to do multiple blind jumps. The camera's gonna sort of move so we can sort of see it. There we go. So that skips the entire area down there. You see that big circle. Normally you're supposed to collect up 4 skulls, place them into their respective slots. That opens up a portal that drops us down into a main area. Except we can just climb up and go this way. Welcome to how broken World 3.3 is. We have just broken this level completely apart. So now we use a quick restart that pulls us to a cutscene trigger down here in the main room. And now Beasty's going to break one more crystal. That's going to open this door. And now we're going to stand on this crystal here, put down 2 turrets, do some funny jumping and teleporting into the abyss, and there's the exit portal. It spawns as long as you can make it into that room. So there we go. The longest level in the game casually is the shortest one in the run. It takes just over a minute. Very well done.
And funnily enough, that's the only level in the entire game where the portal is just there. In every other level in the game, the portal is tied to some sort of event happening. In this game, or in this level, it's just there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's fun. That's a fun level. I think we confuse the devs sometimes with how badly we've broken that one, but anyway, we are on to the boss of World 3. This is the mage boss. This boss is going to be a little scary on extreme difficulty. There's a lot of ways to die and take damage. Most things in this boss fight will do 25 damage. Again, that is the amount of health we have. So Beasty's got to be kind of careful. That's phase 1 down. Phase 2, we can use the mage teleport to get up there. He's going to place a turret that's going to break a crystal. There we go. Another turret's going to break that crystal. Oh! Hello. Ragdoll physics. That was interesting. That's okay. We'll do that again. Let's put the turrets to break those. And then he's going to preset something there by placing a turret in advance. Because you can just move on to phase 3 fast enough and already start that process. And now, very importantly, mage teleport gets us up here. There we go. So oh yeah, the little connectors can and will do damage to you. So this is going to be a little bit slower now because obviously that setup is no longer there thanks to the death. Oh, you can do it. It doesn't want to snap to up there.
That's fine.
Spicy strings, very spicy strings. That's okay. So he's going to do it more of the... This is the way I do it, because I am not as anywhere near as good at this game as Beastie is. We're just bouncing along up here. The devs actually were very kind. They're very supportive of the speedrun community, as much as they are they are a little baffled by us at times, but they're very supportive. And so they actually, once they realized we were up there and it was blind, they actually, in a patch, modified that ceiling a little bit so that we could see a little bit of what we were doing up there, which is very, very generous of them. Again, really appreciate them. Amazing, amazing devs. They're just so lovely. But yeah, we're gonna break these 4 crystals. This is very difficult on extreme difficulty just because a single thing will just absolutely destroy you. But this looks promising. There we go. All right. And this is going to be the mage boss done. And then after the mage boss, it's on to the final boss, which I am scared for the final boss on extreme.
You're scared.
Sorry, I am trying to be the one who's nervous so that you can hopefully not be nervous. But yeah, gonna go swap over to the warrior dash just for safety reasons to make the, because again, using the mage teleport is for the final boss is still quite a new strat, and even though Beastie is fairly practiced at it, there's still so much muscle memory built in like most of the community for using warrior dash here that just for safety and consistency, it's worth that little time lost to go get it. All right, so here we meet a whole bunch of enemies that want to stop us, and we got to destroy. Ooh, are we okay? I think you got it.
Yeah,
Take down that big gunner, grab the battery out of his hand, and Chat, who likes hamster balls? Who likes hamster balls, chat? If you got any spinny motes, I would love to see them in chat. Because we now have a giant electric... Is it a hamster ball or is it a fox ball? I don't know. But anyways, we have a big electrified ball that destroys everything in our path. We see the big bad guy laughing, taunting us. We're coming after him. We are getting that TV remote back. So rude of him to steal it. Yeah, we're gonna zoom along. There's not really necessarily... We have a standard route that we follow. Most of it is just trying to not bang into walls and objects too much and try and just kind of keep going forward, but yeah, otherwise, Prozac, if there's anything you want to read, this would be a good last chance.
Alright, in which case I'll just do a nice brief, let you know. We're coming to the end of this event, but don't worry, we'll be back soon enough because Indiethon is a triannual charity event showcasing all types of indie games. We're bringing you speedruns of games you may not have heard of before to help support Little Warriors and their efforts to raise awareness for child sexual abuse. For more information on our events, visit https://indiethon.com in your favorite browser. And do not worry, because if this event is anything to go by, I think people will want to come by for another one.
Absolutely, I'm already so excited for the next event. This has been one of my favorite marathons of all time. But yeah, this is sort of the second phase of this hamster ball thing. We're sort of jumping around, platforming between platforms. That was easy. Beastie made that look simple. We have a little cutscene skip there where you hit a checkpoint. You can use quick restart that spawns you through the other side of the door. Saves barely any time, but it's a time save. And so here, on anything except for extreme difficulty, you would normally jump off the platform right there. And what that does is it skips this spinning phase and makes the arms stand still. However, we have 25 HP, and a fall to our death costs, you guessed it, 25 HP. So we can't do that. So that makes this fight a little bit slower, because normally it would skip straight to what it's doing here. But obviously, we can't do that. So Beastie did a really good job of doing damage as they were spinning around. We gotta try to not get hit by rockets or exploding barrels. That looked like a really clean phase 1 for not being able to use the phase manip.
That was pretty clean, yeah.
That was pretty clean. Alright, on to phase 2. This is extremely hard, so if you thought this game looked impressive already, just watch phase 2 of the final boss. This is so hard. This is a major spike in difficulty. So now there's things like lasers, there's more enemies on the ground, there is all sorts of stuff. We gotta defeat all 4 of these arms in order to get that TV remote back. We are getting close to the end. Hopefully you don't take too much damage, you're able to get this first try. I have faith. Let's go. That's 3 arms down. There we go. Okay, I have faith. I think you got this. Alright, using mage balls, we're using the Gatling gun. There we go. Break that crystal in the middle. Time is coming up in just a moment. There we go. We've defeated him. He's gonna fall down, and as he falls down into the giant pit of lava, the TV remote comes back up from the explosion, and we have our TV remote back. It's very exciting, and time. And now for a fun little closing cutscene here quickly. We have our TV remote back, but Trifox is not happy about it because, well, he has no TV. GG Beastie, good job.
Thank you, and thank you very much for commentating that.
GG indeed. Thank you very much for bringing it to us. Do you have any shout-outs to go over?
Well, first of all, of course, Indiethon, thank you very much for having me, and especially a very big thank you for putting me as the last runner in the marathon. It's a big honor to do this, to close this out. So, um, and beyond that, of course, I do want to thank my partner for just allowing me to have the space, to have the time to learn speedruns, to perform them on stage like this, for supporting me throughout all of this. And of course, a big thank you to Cell for commentating. I'm sorry my throat wasn't quite up to par to talk a lot tonight, and I couldn't do it myself, but Cell is always very good on commentary and is always very amazing. So, yeah, thank you very much for that.
No worries. It was my absolute pleasure. And you have done the same for me. We commentate for each other when we do these runs. So, absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, Beastie, where can people find you if they wish to see more?
If you do wish to see more, I stream over on twitch.tv/halfbeasty. I do a lot of Trifox, but I also do a lot of other games. I very much enjoy just taking a short period of time to learn a speedrun and try to see how far I can get, and then swap over to a new speedrun again. So,
And Cell, where can people find you to see some of your work?
If you want to come see me, you can find me on Twitch at Selcouthmind or over on YouTube at The Selcouthmind.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone who's joined us for another fantastic Indiethon. This is indeed the last run we have for you, but don't go anywhere because in a couple of seconds here we are going to transition right over to the closing ceremony presented by, of course, Nick Nack Nick and Cell. So, don't go anywhere and enjoy the closeout, and we will see you in the next one.
All right. Hello there. How's everyone doing after that last run? I really enjoyed it. Not that many deaths. I thought it was going to take a lot longer than that, but Halfbeasty did a great job. So, round of applause to them. But yeah, this is the closing ceremony. So this is the end of Indiethon Spring 2023. I know, so sad, but everything has to come to a close at some point, and so does Indiethon 2023. But don't worry, we'll be back soon. So we raised $1,600 for Little Warriors during this event. So very nice. We hit our goal and then a little bit more. So thank you to all our donors for raising that amount of money. So can you tell us a little bit how this money will help impact the charity and how it'll improve everyone's lives?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Little Warriors does fantastic work, as you've heard all throughout this. They work with children who've been sexually abused, and they rely completely on donations. I know when I did the interview, the founder didn't really say that, but they are reliant entirely on donations, and so. And they also don't talk about how much it costs, but it costs $12,000 to treat one child, and it costs $10,000 to treat a teenager. So it's an incredible amount of money that's needed. And on top of it, it's 1 in 3 girls, it's 1 in 6 boys. This is a huge issue and affects so many children. And so every dollar that's raised is huge work. But not just that, the fact that we've been talking about it all weekend, that more people have heard about it. And more people have heard about it. Has been fantastic. If you got a chance to hear that interview I did with the founder, as she said, as the founder said, that even if you don't have any money, if you can tell even 2, 3, 5, 10 of your friends about Little Warriors, about the work that they do, that is fantastic and super helpful.
Great. Well, thank you for all that important information. It looks like they're going to be doing this money that we raised is going to be very, very helpful for the charity. So yeah, again, thank you to all our donors for making this possible and helping out Little Warriors and raising money for them. So now we come to the part of the event where we announce a bunch of stuff. So I have a couple of quick announcements, some of them good, some of them bad. So first, just quickly about VODs, we're going to be uploading them to YouTube, 1 per day. if you don't want to wait that long, we'll be highlighting the whole marathon on Twitch. So make sure you check that out if you want to see VODs. And prizes. Yeah, so the prizes will be drawn on March 18th, so just make sure you check your email, because if you win, you'll be receiving an email from our automatic prize system that we have new for this event, asking you to confirm that you want to receive your prize, and also check your spam folder. So, yeah. And then we have kind of some unfortunate news coming from our friends over at Speedrun.shop. We're very sad to announce that our friends at Speedrun.shop are going to be ending our merchandise partnership with us. Because of the low sales and limited merch partners, they are closing their doors to everyone, including us, which is very sad, unfortunately. So the last date to purchase merch will be April 6th, and we'll be continuing to donating all profits to Little Warriors until the shop closes. So if you want to purchase some cool swag from Indiethon, this is going to be your last chance in probably a while, because we don't know when the next time is going to be when we can offer merch for our events. So if you want to purchase swag, now's the time. And on to some more positive announcements. We are very excited to announce that Indiethon is upgrading to a registered nonprofit organization. I'm sure this comes as a shock to many people. This solidifies our commitment to the community to continue to raise money for various amazing causes, such as Little Warriors. In addition, we hope this new status will allow us to be more transparent with our organization and help attract funding from sponsors by allowing tax-free donations to our company. And with all that important information, we come to the most important announcement of Indiethon. 1 second while I get the slide ready. We are very happy to announce the preliminary dates for our next event. So as we transition over, our next event will be June 30th through July 3rd, 2023. So mark those dates in your calendar, because that's when the next Indiethon is probably going to happen. Please make sure to check our Discord and Twitter feeds. That's where you can receive the latest updates on all things Indiethon and know when submissions open and when important dates get announced. And in terms of charity partners, we don't know anything about that yet, but we'll pick one later and announce that at a later date. So yeah, that's the end of Indiethon 2023. That's all the announcements we have. Also, one quick thing that we do want to mention is that we do have a feedback form. As always, if you'd like to submit feedback, we would really appreciate it. It'll be at feedback.indiethon.com, also on our closing screen. And all the feedback that we get, we review every single piece of feedback, and we strive to use any feedback we receive to improve the experience for our runners, volunteers, and viewers. So yeah, that's it from us at Indiethon. Thank you so much for everyone that made this event possible. All the runners, all the donors, all our staff and our volunteers who helped us get the stream up and running. I'd personally like to thank Jonathan Lloyd at Team 17 for once again stepping in and providing some game keys for our awesome prizes. Also, the developers of Brock for also providing us with some game keys. Speedrun.shop for being our merch partner. And of course, Little Warriors and the founder of Little Warriors for hopping on in an interview as well and providing us with a lot of information about what the charity does. So yeah, thank you to everyone who participated. Even if you had a small role, you contributed a lot to make this event to where it is now, and we're so excited what the future holds for us at Indiethon and where we're gonna go. So yeah, with that, we do have a raid target for this marathon. So this is not an indie game marathon, unfortunately, because we couldn't find another one. We're very unique here, but we're going to be raiding Shots Fired Marathon. Sergeant Silent, a runner at this Indiethon, is one of the organizers for that marathon, so we are going to raid them. And the message will be Indie Hype. So yeah, as we start the raid here, remember to submit that feedback form, and we'll see you next time at Indiethon. So goodbye, and see you next time. Goodbye.